Hey everyone, Paint with Rick. I got some good news. We're going to do a landscape with acrylics. Golden open, okay? You could do traditional oil painting with this acrylic. And good news, I did a test video. You could go back and watch. I got it posted on YouTube. But I put the the color down on my palette for the test video, and I came back to it like 2 hours later, and the paint still good to go. So it stays wet for a long time, and man, that's going to be great. So I'm going to do a painting now. I pulled out some old acrylic brushes. I haven't used acrylic paint for a while, and I used to usually did abstract painting. But you could also use the bristle brushes, your oil brushes with this paint. But I'm going to use acrylic brushes because I want to get a lot of coverage, okay? And I'm using water as my thinning agent, okay? So let's get started. What I'm going to do is the colors that it comes with is ultramarine blue, and it comes with sap green. It comes with uh, Indian yellow, which is like uh, yellow ochre. So I'm just dipping into my water a little bit, grabbing a little white and a little blue. I'm just mixing on my palette, grabbing what I need because I want to have a blue sky up here. Okay, and I'm going to kind of do a simple landscape today in acrylic, and it's going to be similar to how I do the oil paint. Okay, this is pretty similar. Uh, we don't need an underpaint. Okay, you can if you want, but we're not going to do it on this painting. There's a lot of different techniques, so let's start with this one. All right, I was getting a phone call there. Let me get some more blue. Just keep coming down. I'll have a cool mountain in here, and that's my friend calling. She'll have to wait till I'm done with this painting. All right, there's the sky. I came down a little lighter with more white uh, to get a lighter horizon down here. That's far enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay a mountain in there. I'm going to use a fan brush. Let's see. I'll use a fan brush, and I'm going to have to mix some Van Dyke brown with some white here real quick. Hold on. Because I didn't think about a mountain color. I lost my other palette knife. So I'm going to mix a little of the Van Dyke brown with some white and a little blue. Try and get a grayish color. There we go. All right. All right, I'm going to dip into my water a little bit and grab my paint, and let's put a mountain up in here. Make the peaks pretty wide. Get a bunch of peaks going on it because I'm not going to use a knife work on this today. I'll use Now let's do it the same way I do it. Take a napkin now and wipe the paint off your brush. And let's pull this color down into the blue. And let's shape this mountain. Same way I do with oil. We'll let it mix with the blue that's underneath. Just pull it down. And then we'll lightly blend. Let's lightly blend it in now with the fan blender brush. You could see some of the peaks going on up here. Alright, let's blend that in. Looks good. I like it. I think what I'm going to do now, let's put a row of trees back there. What I did, I have sap green and I had to mix it with, I mixed it with some brown to darken it up. But I think I'm going to have the trees coming around from the side here and coming forward here like this. And now I'm going to bring them up a little bit on that mountain there. Just a little bit. Stamp it in there. And then let's stamp in this with sap green and brown to make it, made it darker. Okay, I didn't want it to look green. I want it to look dark. Okay, just how I do the oil paint. This is pretty cool. This stuff stays pretty wet for you. Look at that. Now I'm actually put a few indications of some treetops over here. Kind of at a weird angle here. That works. Just put some indications of some trees back there. I'm going to try pulling up on here and see what happens. Just a little bit with the corner. Use the corner of your brush. And let's pull some tree tops up. With regular acrylic paint, you wouldn't be able to do this. It would already be dry on you. So this is pretty good. It's staying pretty wet. And I'm able to work it still. Alright, there's our distant trees there. What I'm going to do is pull a little bit of this color out now at the bottom and get smaller as I go back to create some land underneath there. See that? Pull out more in the front here, less in the back. It'll make it look like those trees are going into the distance, okay? Look at that. Sap green and brown mixture here. Wow, I really like that. Let's get some texture in here. Alright, let's see how it looks in the frame. Not bad, we're at 9 minutes. What I want to do now while this is still wet, I want to wipe my fan brush off, clean it off in water and get a little titanium white on it. And I want to highlight underneath the trees with some titanium white. Let it mix in with that green. pull it into that green, let it mix. Wipe your brush off, and now let's come in here and blend it even more. We'll lighten it up. Blend it into that dark color. Wow, that really made the trees pop out. Now wipe your brush off and let's pull a little bit of this dark color out in some places here. Make some indentations. See that? Create some hills. It's really cool. It's really working like oil paint. Very good. All right, let's put some water down here. I'm going to go back to my big brush and dip into my water and grab a little white and the ultramarine blue, and let's put some water down here. Just rub it straight across, horizontal, okay? Don't worry about getting a little green in there. That'll make the water look cool. But let's just cover this all in with blue. That'll be our underpaint now. But look how that works. It works just like oil paint. I really like it. All right, what I want to do now, I want to try some of that yellow with, grab a number 2 fan brush, dip into your water, and grab some of the Indian yellow that comes into this kit. And let's put some Indian yellow in the front here. To lighten up this grass here, change the color up. Indian yellow. And I'm going to lighten up the back, wipe my brush off and get some more white, because I want this distance to really look far away back there. So I'm going to make it whiter. There we go. Let it get really light back there. And I'm going to lighten up the water a bit in the back here. And maybe run a few dark streaks of blue up in here. It's looking good. All right, now let's put a little bit of land right in here somewhere. So I can run I think I want to put an evergreen tree right on the side here. So what I'm going to do is grab some of my sap green and black, and we'll put some land right here. Just going to stamp in some bushes here using a big, this is a filbert brush. Pull some land back here. All right, let's get I'm going to use a big fan brush now and put a tree over here. Just going to use my number 2. Dip into your water and get some of that sap green mixed with your brown. Let's just put an evergreen tree coming down to these bushes here. I'm just trying to do a simple painting on this. It's still kind of like a test run for me. Let's stamp in some leaves on this evergreen tree. Just use the corner of your brush. Design it. Get some more paint. Design it as you come down. And now we can, let's lengthen up some of these branches down here at the bottom. Maybe bring them up and then fill in the middle of the tree right in here. Wow, that looks pretty good. Let's put one right behind it, a little shorter. Use the corner. It really feels like it's working like oil paint. So this is pretty good. And this is, you know, you can paint indoors with this. You don't have to worry about fumes or anything. Oh, there's my knife. Okay, let's see if I can get a point down here. Yep. All right, I really like it. It's starting to work. I'm going to try one of my bristle brushes now, like I use on oil, and try and stamp these bushes in a little better. I dip into my water and fill my brush up with that sap green and brownish color and stamp in some bushes here with this brush. I really like the way these brushes make the bushes, okay? I'm going to pull underneath to create some land down here. Sap green and brown. Kind of mixing with that blue now. Let's highlight these bushes. Just wipe your brush off, dip into your water, clean the brush off, wipe it off, and grab a little bit of titanium white. And let's highlight these bushes just on the top parts. Just a little. I might change up that color. I might try the red color, Alzerian red. But look at that. It's looking pretty good. It's actually working like oil paint, so I really like it. I'm gonna put a little bit of, instead of white, I'm gonna try that Indian yellow now underneath these trees and pull some Indian yellow at the bottom to get a different color down here in the grass. Let's just put some more Indian yellow in here just to get a different grass color. Look at that. I try and blend it with the fan blender brush instead of using my big blender brush. I'm going to use a fan blender while it's wet. Wow, it really works. It's blending it just like oil paint. Look at that. It really blends that together. Let me try it up here. Yeah, it's still wet enough to blend. This acrylic paint's pretty good. I'll do some cool designs. This is still kind of a test run on this, but you could tell it's really working. Like I'm going to rinse that. When you're done with acrylic, make sure you rinse. If you're not going to use the brush again, rinse it in the water so it doesn't harden on the brush. But I don't think this paint will. I think it'll stay wet for a while, where you can just clean your brushes at the end of your session. Okay, let's I got a light green. I mixed some of the sap green with that yellow. I'm going to highlight this tree now with the lighter green, just on the top parts, and really make these branches come out. Okay, make it look a little greener. Okay, I'll just do a little on this one back here. Wow, it really worked. All right, you guys, if you want to subscribe and pick up some of this golden open, you get this at Michael's. It's really working. It works. It does work like oil paint. I haven't tried the clouds yet, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure something out. And I'm going to take a dry brush and pull some of this dark color out. Create a few hills in here. See that? Wow, just like I did over here. All right, it's looking good. All right, what are we going to do on the mountain? I'm just going to use a number 4 round, okay? And I'm going to put my snow on with this number 4 round. Just dip in a little bit of water on your brush and grab some white. Now, we're going to do the snow just like we do with a knife. And at the right side of your peak, just come up here and pull it to the right, okay? Get some more white. Just create some snow up there. It's a little different than the knife, but it still works. It's probably going to be easier for you to put the snow up there. But I like doing knife work. Here, I'm going to mix a little blue and white and get a shadow color up here. Just pull it to the left. Blue and white. Yes, I need more blue. Just left of your white, pull some of this bluish color just next to your snow. You don't need much. It's just going to make the mountain look like it has some dimension. You can play around with your mountain. I'm not going to do much more on the video. But that's all you got to do. A little white on one side and a different color on the other. Then you could come in here and really blend those two colors together where they come together, the white and the blue. Just blend them. It'll make the mountain look softer. Alright, I really like that. Looks good. Let's see what we're going to do. Maybe I'll put, we got to put something down here in the corner. But let's see how far along I am. 25 minutes. That's alright. It's actually, I'm happy with the way this paint's working. It's actually really the first time I'm using it. So I'm going to use this big brush I got. I'm going to clean it off. Wipe it off clean and put some clouds up there now. This is a big filbert brush. Look at that thing. I haven't used this thing in a long time. All right, let me get some more white out here, and I'm going to try and do some clouds up here. Just going to make them white for the video. Let's start up in the corner here. I'm going to just stamp in like the top of the cloud like I usually do. And wipe your brush off and come in here and stamp the lower portion of your cloud now. Just the lower portion. Get it to mix into the sky. If you leave the top alone, it'll stay a little brighter up on top for you, okay? It's not bad. It's a different style of cloud with acrylic, but I'll try and blend it and see what happens at the bottom. But at the bottom here, let's just keep the clouds smaller. Same way, just stamp in the top of your cloud and then come in here and stamp out the lower portion. Get it to mix into the sky a bit. Acrylic. I'm going to try and blend it now. I think it'll blend. Because I mean, I told you I came back 2 hours later and the paint was still wet. So let's take a fan blender brush instead of my mop brush. I've been using my mop brush, but I think a fan blender brush will be perfect for this size. It's 11 by 14. You can really, you got more control with this thing. Just pull the bottom of your cloud down and try and get it to blend in with the sky. And it's doing it. I should have done the clouds first when the blue was still a little wet, but it's still blending actually, so I really like it. There you go, guys. I'm gonna have to end the video here because it's going on 30 minutes, but I think this is gonna work, so look for the next video for acrylic landscapes. If you want, here, I'll do this real quick. I'm just going to grab a bristle brush, and to fix this corner up down here, I'm just going to tap in a bush, okay, just to finish up the painting for you. If you end up doing this, just put a bush in the foreground here and leave it dark because it's in the shadow. And there you go. Very easy. And probably you could take your fan brush and get a little white on it and pull some white off your shoreline. Keep it horizontal, your brush, okay, and pull a little white off the shoreline there, okay. It'll look like the water's crashing up against the shore. And you could put more bushes out here, little twigs and things, but that's all I'm going to do for this video. Let's see if I can find my liner brush. I couldn't find it before because I want to put my, maybe I won't put birds on my acrylic ones. So I usually put a bird up there, but we don't have to do it on the acrylic paintings. There you go. Look for the next acrylic video, and it's going to work. Let me remind you what kind it is again. At Michael's, you can get this kit. Okay, it's got to be golden open for it to work like traditional oil. All right, cheers.